Welcome to The Demon Attack, a review of the 1994 AFL season in which Melbourne reached the finals for the first time since 1991. It didn't take long for the Melbourne team to give notice of things to come for season 1994 after finishing 10th in 1993. A thrashing of Geelong by almost 11 goals at the MCG in round 1, and the D's were on the way. Jacko notched up 8-8, Gary Lyon 5, while David Schwartz and Andy Lovell each found the tall timber 4 times, while at the other end Sean White held Everett to just 2 goals, both in the last quarter. Melbourne's perfect weather produced a fast-moving first term. Couch kicked all the Cats' goals, while Djakovic was sharing the goals around to Lovell. And then notching up his second. The Demons leading by 10 points at the first change. The Cats had no answers to the constant pressure. Schwartz kicking his third, then the brilliant Djakovic produced one of his special touches. Forsman cut the Demons' lead to 23 points, but it was a brief respite. Djakovic had 6 to half-time. Lyon was also in fine touch. This goal, his third, giving the Demons a 36-point lead. Buddha Hocking was trying to keep the Cats in touch. Bairstow to Handley and Geelong were not giving up. 2 early Demon goals in the fourth term, and the challenge was all but snuffed out. Djakovic put through his 8th, and when Jeff Hilton scored 2 quick goals, the Demons were convincing winners. The final scores, 26-18, 174 to the Cats 16-13, 109. The victory wasn't all plain sailing, however, with Rodney Grinter reported by 2 umpires for allegedly charging John Barnes. But fortunately, the tribunal didn't agree, and Rod was cleared, breathing a sigh of relief. The second round. And the D's ventured to Waverley to take on the Hawks, also on a roll. They'd given St Kilda a football lesson in the first round, but were without Dunstall injured in that clash. The Demons opened the match in scintillating style. When Hawthorn skipper Chris Langford was forced off with a hamstring injury, Djakovic seized the opportunity with relish.
Hand pass back to Djakovic. He sprints in the goal. Oh, don't tell me he's kicked this. He has. He's happy it's a goal.
Hilton and Doyle also got into the act, and the Demons led by an incredible 8 goals at quarter time.
Hilton towards goal. It bounces, and I think this could be a goal. It's another one. Yes.
Doyle has kicked a couple in a magnificent opening turn. He's kicked 3.
The beaming countenance of Neil Baum told the story. But Hudson, not to be denied, put through 2 quick goals.
Hudson's kicked another one for the Hawks. They're coming back.
The Demons steadied, Lyon steering through his second major.
He kicks it goal. It floats, and he has goal.
The frustration was showing, but Melbourne was in total control. The Demons' lead blew out to 60 points early in the third quarter, with Steins and Djakovic making no mistake.
To Phoebe. Stephen Phoebe goes for goal. Djakovic, that's his third.
Platten was trying desperately to keep his team in the match, but the Demons shrugged off the challenge.
Latches onto it. He's on the left foot. He chips it in towards goal, and he's put it through. A great goal, the little rover.
Djakovic made amends for this easy miss with a great snap from the pocket.
Djakovic from the pocket. Well, there you go. He likes them.
Although kicking just 1 goal in the final 30 minutes, the Demons coasted home. The final scores, Melbourne 17-16, 118 to 8-16, 64. Jacko's inaccuracy saw him finish with 4 goals, 10, and vowing to improve his strike rate. Greg Doyle also kicked 4 goals, while Brett Lovett, Lyon, Viney, Steins and Tingay were among the best. Round 3, and we had the bye. But in round 4, we took on MCG co-tenants Essendon and inflicted the 3rd loss for the season on the reigning premiers. Essendon was well off target early, scoring just 5 behinds in the first 20 minutes. before Brett Lovett scored the first six-pointer of the match.
Now a chance for the Demons. It's Brett Lovett. Goes goalwards. Long kick. Terrific kick against the breeze.
The Bombers' Buick replied with a miracle goal.
Mercuri's kick towards half forward. No mark taken. Buick kicks it from mid-air. Oh, he's kicked the goal. What a ripper.
Lamprell showed World Cup form on the siren.
Smothered in the goal square. Lamprell off the ground. He's kicked it.
And Essendon coach Kevin Sheedy showed his annoyance. Mercury responded. The Bombers took the lead. But when Djakovic broke away from Fletcher, the Demons were up by 15 points.
Obst takes the hand pass from Doyle. Where's Djakovic? Mark is there.
But Wallace found the goals just before the main break.
Directly in front. Kicks and goals.
Mercury again reduced the Demons' lead.
Around the corner goes Mark Mercury. Got it. Oh, great kick, Mercury. Goal.
But the flamboyant Djakovic scored 3 for the term, and Melbourne led by 22 points going into the final quarter.
Chance for Melbourne. Djakovic, yes! He's marked 10 metres out. Great play by the Phoebe Twins at midfield.
Cockatoo Collins fired up the Bombers. 3 goals in 5 minutes, and the margin just 4 points. But Djakovic used his body to take a vital mark.
Good snap. Djakovic in front! Excellent work.
And when Brett Lovett goaled, the Demons had their 3rd straight win.
Brett Lovett, he's been great. Now he sets sail for home, Lovett. Oh, what's he done? He's stopped it. A great goal. Terrific goal.
The final scores, Melbourne 12-12-84, Essendon 9-12-66. Jacko finished with 5, with Lovett, Tingay and the Phoebes amongst the best. Sean White was again a stalwart in the last line of defence. Round 5 and the Brisbane Bears became the next victims of the Demon juggernaut. Neil Baum's possession game, which he'd introduced last year, was really coming to fruition. The Friday night clash drew a crowd of more than 20,000, and for the Bears it was all downhill from the first bounce. The Bears had beaten St Kilda the previous week and were expected to provide tough opposition. However, a scoreless first 15 minutes dented the visitors' confidence.
Strong hands.
Djakovic scored 2 of the Demons' 4 goals in 10 minutes, while the Bears failed to score a goal in the first term. Todd Viney's goal early in the second quarter started an avalanche.
Demons, Matthew Phoebe gets it back to Viney. Viney's kick across his body is a beauty to goal.
5 more goals before the main break, with possession football again proving successful.
Demons a chance to score out of this. Viney's kick, beautiful vision. Wide, Matthew Phoebe will nearly kick a goal. Matthew Phoebe will kick a goal. Brilliant kick.
Brisbane big guns merit. Lynch and Starcevic were being starved, and the Bears were goalless in the first half. The Bears' first goal through Lappin was greeted by reluctant cheering.
It's a chance now for the kid. Goes for it, and they've done it finally, a goal.
Djakovic then kicked 2 in 3 minutes.
Road back to Djakovic. And Djakovic kicks it, and he's got 5.
Lynch's goal on the siren brought up the Bears' 3rd goal in 3 quarters against the Demons' 12.
The ball at the back. Lynch could have nearly thrown it on his left foot. Went all the way around and threw it on his right foot, and may have kicked a goal. He has.
The Demons turned the final quarter into a training run, adding another 5 majors. The Bears' dismal Melbourne form had continued. They'd won only 8 games in their 8 years. The final scores, Melbourne 17-15-117 to 4-6-30. The Phoebes were on fire, while Alan Djakovic kicked 6 majors. David Neitz keeping Bear hotshot Alistair Lynch to just 6 kicks. And with the Demons in great form, former spearhead Darren Bennett was beginning to make his mark across the Pacific.
Darren Bennett's Field of Dreams used to be the MCG. Now it's the Jack Murphy Stadium, the home of the San Diego Chargers.
The hype and the promotion of the games here is so much bigger. You walk around with guys that are earning $2 and $3 million a year.
A punter on the Chargers roster, Bennett had seen the specialist kicker's role on TV and thought it looked easy. The entire gridiron field is just 90 metres long. He can kick close to that with the wind behind him. Only now is he learning the technicalities. Pinpoint accuracy, hang time in the air, and the pooch punt, a kick that bounces and stops dead.
There's a lot more to it than just picking it up and kicking it.
Over 78 games with Melbourne and the Eagles, Bennett was considered the AFL's longest kicker and has amazed established punters here.
Oh yeah, impressed, because there's not many guys that actually punt as far as he does, and he can really smash it a long ways.
From now on for Darren Bennett, it'll be a succession of trials and camps. Of the 5 punters on the San Diego roster, by the time the first game is played here in September, just 1 will remain. Bennett is confident he'll be the one, and that'll mean a contract of at least $140,000 a year.
Round 6 and the unbeaten Demons took on Collingwood at Waverley Park. It was to prove the closest call so far for the season for Melbourne.
Here come the Demons.
In a tight opening, it took Collingwood 15 minutes to find the goals through Craig Kelly.
Into Kelly. Welcome back, Craig Kelly.
8 minutes later, Djakovic had his first touch, bringing up Melbourne's 3rd goal.
The pass to Djakovic. Great mark.
When Brown goal for the Magpies, it was deemed after the siren.
White climbs all over Rocket. At the back, Gavin Brown. Open run to goal. Did the siren beat him? Did the umpire hear it?
He's not allowing it.
Gee. Well, we heard it. Did the umpire hear it? The umpire said, I heard it. There is no score for that.
The Magpies were applying pressure in the second term. Hassel tackled strongly and Mark Fraser completed the move.
It's taken by Fraser, the speedster. 55 metres out. Rocker shepherded through and it's a goal.
Djakovic limped off, but Lyon and Schwartz took fine marks.
Tingay, pass centre, kicks towards half forward. Lyon, oh, terrific mark. How did he get that one? He kicks from 65. Floats it down towards the square. Schwartz.
Collingwood fullback John Ballantyne suffered a serious knee injury. The Demons went to a 3-goal lead at half-time.
And it's a mark and goal. Kicked by Doyle.
After the break, Sean White typified the relentless play by both sides.
Goes White fisted away. Roving the pack is plain. Oh, great tackle by White.
Great persistence there by Sean White to get back and tackle.
Paul Williams broke through after 20 goalless minutes, and the Magpies were still in touch.
Williams again inside the 50. Surely, please, goal.
The last term, the Demons looked in control as they kicked the first 2 goals, but Sanderson had other ideas.
Sanderson about 25 metres up the ground. Takes it inside 50. A goal here would be handy. And Sanderson delivers.
A hand pass from Gavin Brown to Watson. The deficit now just 2 goals.
Gavin Brown, the skipper, approaches 50. Good shepherding by Buckley. Brown goes over the top with a hand pass. It should be a goal to Watson. The Pies still a chance.
A free to Tony Shaw, the difference of 5 points saw Neil Baum grab the phone. But the Demons were home, much to the delight of the Demon coach. Despite the perfect conditions, goals were hard to come by. The Demons home by less than a goal to maintain their unbeaten run. 9-6-60 to 8-7-55. Among the best players, Steins, Viney, Stephen Phoebe, Tingay, White and Neitz. Schwartz with 3 was the leading goal kicker. The loss of Djakovic proved a huge blow to Melbourne against North Melbourne in round 7. The warning signs had been there the previous week against the Magpies, but when Gary Lyon sprained an ankle before half-time, the boys struggled. Lyon, wearing a huge thigh pad, was to score the Demons' first goal. But at the other end, Longmire marked and kicked North's first goal in a heated opening term. Both sides were having more success tackling rather than scoring. Lyon scored his second. However, the Carey-Longmire combination proved itself yet again.
Sean White, good play, Johnny Longmire. Onto the left foot.
Trent Nichols helped North to a 10-point lead at the half. Stephen Phoebe copped a hard bump. As Lyon's leg injury finally forced him off, the Kangaroos raced away, with Campbell kicking 2, while Carey, who was having a quiet day, helped North to a 5-goal lead at three-quarter time.
And no doubt about that.
Lyon was urging his teammates to lift, but it was to no avail, as Neil Baum faced a loss, with David Schwartz's mark of the day the only highlight in the final term. The unbeaten run ended, the Demons still remained on top of the ladder despite going down 8-10-58 to North's 13-12-90. Neitz, Viney, White, Steins and Matthew Phoebe were among the best. David Schwartz kicked 3 goals. Round 8, we took on the Bulldogs at the MCG with a chance to redeem the loss against North. However, it wasn't to be despite leading at the main break. With Djakovic sidelined, it was skipper Gary Lyon who led the charge.
Andy Lovell goes to Gary Lyon. A sure foot pass and he finds the captain.
Twice Lovell combined with the Demon number 3.
His kick, too easy.
Footscray's Kim Costa then kicked truly from the pocket.
Costa's kick is not bad. That's a goal.
Grigic then socketed through number 2, adding another just 3 minutes later.
Kick off the ground by Grigic is a goal.
The Demons were up by 8 points at quarter time.
For a moment, kicks to half forward. Lyon was there. Doyle's handball goes backwards. Neatz's handball pretty good. Viney goes for goal from the pocket. Good kick. And drills it through.
Lyon then notched up another 2 goals.
Schwartz, strong enough to keep Stephen Wallace out of it. Lovell gathers 50 metres from goal. Goes to the square. Which way will it bounce? Gary Lyon gets a foot to it. And that is a great goal. That really is terrific stuff by Lyon. He's kicked 4 goals.
But Cameron kept the Bulldogs in touch.
The gatherers by Crediuk. He gets it to Stanfield. Stanfield goes to Cameron. Cameron blindly blasts away and gets a goal.
However, goals to Neitz and Lovett, and the Demons led by 22 points. But then Grigic took 3 good marks and successfully converted. Then tapped another through with his boot.
Chance for Thorpe. Thorpe paddles it in front. Then gets onto the left foot. Oh, it's a goal anyway. It's Grigic or Thorpe.
Tingay scored a fine goal from half forward.
Schwartz, handball over the top. Grinter, got past, was tripped. Advantage paid. Was there any free kick? No. Tingay goes on with it. And Tingay gets the goal. Melbourne are back in front.
Footscray's Reynolds, Grant and Cameron scored 6-pointers.
Cameron, well, he's going to go all the way himself. Running into a bad angle, kicks the goal.
Schwartz gave the Demons some hope.
And Schwartz has taken a great leap and marked it in the square.
But the Bulldogs home by 3 points. With Bulldog star Ilya Grigic proving a handful, the final scores 14-10-94 to 13-13-91. The disappointed Neil Baum said his players played as poorly as they had for some time, making error after error after error. Round 9. Sydney has proven a stumbling block over the past couple of seasons, and despite their lowly position on the ladder, this was no exception, and at the MCG. The first quarter, and the much-touted Dermy factor was in many minds as Brereton took to the field. But it was the Demons who struck first with a goal to Djakovic. Dermy's first kick finished out of bounds. When Djakovic got his second, the Demons were well on top. A turnaround in the second quarter with the Swans doing all the attacking. A Brereton handball to kick it and 6 points. When Brereton snapped and Minton Connell goaled, the Swans were in front. But the Demons were up by 6 points at the half. 2 quick goals to the Demons and they were drawing away. But towards the break, the Swans were clawing their way back. Good play by the Swans resulted in a near impossible goal by Lewis. Kickett scored off the pack, and when Brereton marked and goaled, the Swans were home by 9 points. The hallowed turf erupted with scenes reminiscent of a premiership win, and repeated inside the dressing room. Even though Alan Djakovic landed 5, the scores Melbourne 14-13-97, Sydney 16-10-106. Other good players were Tingay, Lyon and Schwartz, who kicked 3 goals. After the disappointing loss to the Swans, Neil Baum had his charges out early on the training track. The Demon coach had his theories on the slump in form.
I think we've just dropped the ball a bit. We've perhaps got a bit excited about with the fact that we're a pretty reasonable side and maybe stopped doing really the hard work that we did at the start.
And more bad news for the Demons with Andrew Obbs to have arthroscopic surgery, with St Kilda, West Coast, Carlton and Adelaide to come.
It's a big week this week. We've got to get up and turn ourselves around and play well against St Kilda, and obviously they'll be confident they can win too.
Round 10. The next round saw us return to the winning list. Gary Lyon and David Schwartz were superb at the expense of the injury-depleted Saints at Waverley. A full-strength Demons side gave an injury-riddled Saints lineup no chance. A 5-6 to 4-point third term, and it was all over. The Demons completing the rout, kicking 4-4 to 2-2 and home by a massive 74 points. Gary Lyon and Schwarter notched up 7 goals between them, and perhaps the bad patch was over. Tingay, Sullivan, Steins and Dyson also played well. During the next week, the elusive Sean Charles struck car trouble. A blown head gasket saw his car sidelined in New South Wales. Emergency action was called for, and it arrived in the form of a light aircraft and the Channel 9 helicopter, enabling Charles to get to Melbourne for training. Round 11. And after the comprehensive win over the Saints at Waverley, the Demons were to strike a huge hurdle next up. The in-form West Coast Eagles, but at the MCG. First and second on the ladder looked to be an ideal matchup of teams, but it also saw the brothers Jakovic clashing.
The little kick into the pocket. It's missed there by Brennan. Attempted kick off the ground by Glenn Jakovic. Under pressure from the brother, and that could be an infringement. Yes. It was undisciplined play in the finish by A. Jakovic.
With West Coast backline in fine touch, skipper Gary Lyon was providing the only early avenue to goal.
The ball spills now for Alan Jakovic. His kick towards full forward. Marking contest, Gary Lyon. Well done. Brilliant, skillful, class, Gary Lyon. Brilliant.
Chris Lewis meanwhile kicked 2. The Weagles up by 2 goals at the first break.
McIntosh and Lewis will provide a lead. Now Lewis in the pocket. He should get him. He has got him. It's a good mark.
Some brilliant aerial work in the second quarter couldn't take the spotlight from the Eagles, who were cruising, Lewis with 4 on the board. Neats marked well against McIntosh, and then Charles demonstrated his brilliance.
Bouncing ball. Autumn and Charles with pace. Quite brilliantly played. A second bounce. Mainwaring in pursuit. Charles goes for goal and kicks it. What a goal! Brilliant!
That's got to rate his goal of the year, doesn't it?
But the dominance of the Eagles saw Alan Jakovic taken from the ground with only 1 goal to his name. Mainwaring.
Gatherers by Mainwaring. Mainwaring loves this situation. He bombs away and kicks the goal.
And Brennan were having a picnic.
Brennan up high, good mark. He's played a terrific game, Brennan.
Stephen Phoebe and Steins were sidelined, and the Demons were in big trouble. In the final quarter, Gary Lyon continued to strive, kicking goals.
Gary Lyon, a flying shot at goal, and it's a goal to Melbourne.
While Lewis was doing the same at the other end. For the Eagles home by 44 points. The 7-goal loss was bad enough, but Jim Steins also suffered that knee injury. Gary Lyon top scored for the Demons with 5 goals, and White, Yates and Charles also played well. During the next week, Jim Steins was battling to be fit.
It's been the first decent run this week, so got through training.
Good enough to play this week?
At this stage I'll be confident, yeah. But, you know, we haven't made the decision yet, so I need another day.
And skipper Gary Lyon was well aware a lift was needed if the finals were to be a reality.
We're not a bunch of superstars at all by any stretch of the imagination. We need everyone contributing, so we've got to get back to that if we're going to get back to a winning sort of formula.
The 12th round saw the Demons play host to Carlton at the MCG, 3rd and 4th on the ladder. Despite the fine efforts of Brett Lovett, the Brownlow winner Greg Williams was in devastating form before a crowd of more than 52,000.
He's going to have a shot himself on the left boot. Oh, was that touched? I don't think so, and if that's a goal. Yes!
All eyes were on Jim Steins early in the game, but Kernahan flew and goaled 3 times in the first quarter.
In towards Kernahan, look at this. Oh, yes, he had his name written all over that football.
Rival captain Gary Lyon again showed his class with 2 in 2 minutes.
Gary Lyon grabs it inside the 50. The skipper, a bit of magic.
Some magnificent play by White, Charles, Gilbert and Lyon.
Oh, good kick.
The 3 goals in 3 minutes saw the Blues up by 6 points at the main break.
Hot
set sail for goal, and Matthew Hogg has kicked the ripper.
A doer struggle in the third quarter. The Demons dominated but held goalless. Sean Charles typifying the Demon spirit.
Mopping up is Tommy Elvin. Good play. Too slow to get rid of it. Should have been looking for the handball. Then tries to tackle.
Great tackle.
He's been pinned for holding the ball.
Well done, Sean Charles.
2 late goals to the Blues, and they were up by 15 points at three-quarter time.
Good distance. Great kick.
Diesel to Hogg early in the last, and the writing was on the wall. Jakovic gave the Demons a faint chance, but the running Blues were too strong. The Demons down for the 5th time in 6 matches. The final margin was 27 points, an expensive loss which saw the Demons slip to 5th place on the ladder. The Lovitts, Lyon, Matthew, Phoebe, Tingay and Schwartz were among the best. Round 13. And a night clash at Adelaide's Football Park was the Demons' next engagement, and although not getting the points, they lost no friends. A 6-goal last quarter saw them go down by just 5 points. The final scores 11-17-83 to 12-6-78. The Demons now in 7th position on the ladder. The round 14 clash against Richmond at the MCG was David Schwartz's 50th game. The cheer squad paid tribute to the star forward. Unfortunately, the Demons couldn't complete the day with a win. Gary Lyon, in typical style, was leading from the front early in the match, while Sean Charles was perhaps unlucky in this incident.
Steins goes inside 50. Lyon slips at the critical moment. Charles has been pinged for holding the ball.
The Tigers took advantage through Rogers.
Young recruit wobbles it into goal.
But the Demons led by the shortest possible margin at quarter time. Tingay soon increased the lead, but the Tigers weren't fazed. Benny Gale marking and kicking truly. The Demons up by 2-1 at the half. Brilliant Tiger Matt Richardson with 2 goals levelled the score, but Lovell replied in kind.
2 in the third.
Then the 8th change of lead.
Hand pass to Rogers. Rogers makes the tackle. Races into goal for a brilliant goal.
The final quarter with the rain falling and the lights on. The Tigers drew away to win by 16 points, the Demons' 7th loss from 8 games. Despite leading at each break, the 16-point loss saw the Demons slide out of the 8 and into 11th place on the ladder, a performance which baffled Neil Baum. A crowd of less than 8,500 ventured to the Western Oval for the Fitzroy clash. A close match until three-quarter time, the Demons stormed home in the last term to return to the winning list. The Lions had the benefit of the following wind, but couldn't capitalise, kicking 3 goals 6 to 2 points in the first term. The Demons took advantage of the breeze, Tingay and Charles kicking truly. Jacko then kicked 2 goals in 2 minutes. The Demons 7 for the quarter, up by 3 points at half-time, which obviously didn't impress Doc Wheeldon. Jacko wasn't upset. His fine individual goal, one of 2 Demons 6-pointers for the quarter against the wind. Further frustration for the Lions when Hawking missed a sitter. Jakovic kicked a sizzler for his 5th, Melbourne home by 7 goals, and a couple of Lions supporters running foul of the constabulary. The final scores, Melbourne 16-15 111 to Fitzroy 9-11-65. Jacko was on target with 5 goals, while Brett Lovett and the 2 Shawns, Charles and White, also played well. The D's were back to 9th on the ladder. Cardinia Park matches are never easy, and round 16 was no exception. Despite Melbourne being the dominant team for 3.5 quarters and only Ablett keeping the Cats in the game, a whirlwind finish saw the home side come away with the points. Michael Mansfield was full of running in the midfield.
Off the left boot, bang for goal. Offline, it comes back. It's a goal.
While Hickmott was applying some great tackles, and Ablett was at his magical best.
Better recovery will snap a goal. His second.
Goals from Steins and Lyon kept the Demons in touch.
Pike knocks it forward, taken by Lyon, open goal.
Ablett was running riot. This is 4th for the quarter.
Riccardi just outside the 50. The left footer sweeps towards goal. It won't make it. Ablett in the goal square with White. He's got it. Number
Pike ran foul of the post but goaled, Hilton following suit, and the Cats up by 7 points at the change. Schwartz twice marked strongly in gold, the D's now in front with Charles extending the margin.
That's good.
But the Cats weren't easing up. This goal from Tudor.
Hand pass misses Stoneham. Tudor runs onto it. He's only 25 metres out and snaps a goal.
And Ablett brought up his sixth.
Hand pass. Couch. Left footer. One out is Ablett with White. Good contest. Never in doubt.
Brewer gold on the siren and Geelong ahead by 14 points.
Brewer spins through the pack. He's all-class Brewer. Great goal.
After the break, Barnes hit the deck. The desperate D's kicking the first 4 majors of the term.
Gilbert should go over the top while he improvises. He gets it to Lovell. Melbourne lead.
Chopper Lovell and Mansfield performed a modern waltz. Blight wasn't impressed and his players responded. Firstly, Couch.
Brewer to Couch. He measures the kick. Good looking effort. It's a goal.
Then Ablett with 3 more for a total of 10. When Brewer got his third, the Cats had 9 for the term and home by 5 goals. And so a 16-point lead with 10 minutes to go turned into a 30-point loss. The final scores 22-13 145 to 17-13 115 and another perplexing performance for Neil Barr. With backs to the wall after losing 8 of 10 matches, a 4-hour midweek team meeting before round 17 had the desired effect. The Demons showed more consistency than for some weeks and it paid off against the Hawks at Optus Oval. The possession game had come back. The return of Jakovic immediately lifted the D's attack as he set up Pike for the first goal. The possession game was in evidence as the Demons went away to a 2-goal lead at the first break. Tempers flared in the second term as the Demons set the pace. Jakovic finding the goal 3 times in the first half. And the loping Lion helped the Demons to a 4-goal half-time lead. Alex McDonald flew for the Hawks, but man Jakovic goaled 3 times in 5 minutes. Two further goals to Melbourne, the lead now 58 points. Dunstall's first goal for the match wasn't until time on. In fact, he kicked 2 in 2 minutes. But when Jakovic kicked his 8th, the Demons were home by more than 6 goals. But it was Jakovic's last game for the year. A bulging disc in his back, and his season was over. After being in control for almost the entire match, the Demons' 38-point win again put them on track for the finals. And although the enigmatic Alan Jakovic kicked 8 goals, it was to be his last goal for the season because of that bulging disc in his back, pressing on his sciatic nerve, forcing the star to the sidelines. The Demons had the bye in round 18. However, Alan Jakovic wasn't the only Demon with injury problems. Also missing from the lineup was another key player, Andrew Obst.
I would have liked to have played before the bye, but the medical staff sort of suggested that maybe leave it to after the bye to get it right, or completely right, and as it seems now, it seems to be the right thing that I've done.
The argument that the bye can cause a lack of momentum was dispelled in round 19. The Demons tore into Essendon at the MCG, with skipper Gary Lyon leading from the front, notching 8 goals. With Jakovic a spectator, the Demons' firepower was expected to be subdued. But while Matthew Phoebe kicked 3 goals, twin brother Stephen was nullifying the Bomber attack.
Cummings caught, and that's hiding the ball. Great tackle, wasn't it? Yeah, terrific tackle, Steve Phoebe.
Wanganeen eventually broke through, but the Demons were up by 4 goals at quarter time.
Wanganeen a chance, great speed, gets clear, shoots at goal, but misses. Or has he got it? It's there.
But the Demons were up by 4 goals at quarter time.
Schwartz the target, and marks.
The reigning Brownlow medalist went on with the job in term 2, twice combining with Cummings.
This should be a goal to Cummings. He's got to turn and kick. He does, and he puts it through. Great goal.
A goal from Gary put the Demons up by 17 points at the half. Then, after the break, number 3 continued his good work.
Great play by Lyon. That is a brilliant goal. A top goal.
Schwartz was also great, as the Demons kicked 8 goals to 2 and showed they were certainly back in town. The Bombers were showing frustration. Barry Young reported for dissent and some uncharacteristic behaviour from Gavin Wanganeen. But the Demons home by a massive 77 points, much to the delight of Gary Lyon and the fans.
Coming off a bye, you always have a few doubts about how we'd start, but I think we got away pretty well, and the pleasing thing was we played 4 pretty consistent quarters.
Young Matthew Phoebe, it looks as though he'll be out for a few weeks.
We would miss him if he was to miss next week. He's given us tremendous run through the year.
The final scores, Melbourne 21-9, 135 to Essendon 8-10, 58. Apart from Lyon, Schwartz, Stephen Phoebe, Cowell, Dyson and Steins and also Brett Lovett were fine players in a real team effort. The Demons now 5th on the ladder. Round 20, and the Demons venture to the Gabba and a meeting with the Bears. The warm temperature and a spirited opposition made the Demons fight for a well-deserved win. Schwartz's aerial exploits continued in Brisbane, although Champion was trying to snuff out the Demons' light. However, on the ground, the Bears were alight, kicking 3 goals in 7 minutes.
He's 70 metres out from goal. Look at that drop punt. They don't come any better.
Although down by 4 points at the first break, Gary Lyon and Martin Pike combined well, having 7 goals between them at half-time, although the Bears thought one of Gary's was a poster.
Kicked by Gary Lyon. Look at that now.
No quarter was being given by either side. McIver and Schwartz in the wars.
Oh, that's kicking in danger.
When Merritt kicked truly after the siren, the difference was just 1 kick.
Oh, it's a good kick. It's a goal to Merritt.
Gary Lyon again showed his brilliance around goal.
Lyon across his body. Snapshot by Lyon. What's he manufactured there? It's a goal.
The Bears had their chances, but Bears stalwart Merritt missed in the goal square.
He floats it into full forward. It's touched by Roger Merritt. He puts his hands in his head. He tried to mark. He could have left it and it would have been a goal.
But Schwartz sealed the match with the 6-pointer. The D's home by 15. The final scores, Brisbane 12-12-84 to Melbourne 14-15-99. Gary Lyon finished with 5 goals, with Yates, Schwartz, Pike, Dyson and Neitz also among the best. It was on the weekend of the Bears clash that the story broke on a possible merger with Fitzroy, a prospect which upset many members of both sides, as well as Demon great Robbie Flower.
I think you'd feel as if it wasn't your club anymore, that I was brought up as a Melbourne boy, barracked for them, played for them and support them now, and if it became another entity then you wouldn't feel part of it.
Lion captain Paul Roos was also unimpressed.
Really, it probably exposes the fact that the players are really left in the lurch a lot about the rules and certainly don't have a lot big say in what happens in their careers.
But Fitzroy General Manager John Burt was adamant the Lions could go on.
And I believe last year that we had the doors closed in our faces when we went to talk to banks, but this year it's a more positive sign. Maybe the economic climate's a bit better.
Lying 5th on the ladder, the Demons were taking on traditional rivals the Magpies at the MCG. Whether it was the strength-sapping heat of Brisbane the week before or not, a 2-goal last half to the Magpies 7 told the story. Jeff Hilton was quickly on target for the Demons, but the controversial new blood rule soon saw Andrew Obst and David Neitz sidelined with minor grazes. The Magpies then applied the pressure, a great tackle by Shaw, while Primke was the victim of an unlucky bounce.
He brings it back in front of goal. The bounce is vital here. Hassel gives it across to McCartney and they've given the Magpies the goal.
The second quarter and both sides scored brilliant goals.
One out, Pike with Krasiska. Goes off the ground, not bad. No one on the mark. Well, he was, but he was directing players. Yes. Andrew Obbs, this is going to cost them a goal. Great play, Hassel. What about that? Tremendous play by the little fella. Well done, John Hassel.
At the main break, the D's up by a solitary point. Gary Lyon let go with his lethal left foot, and the D's 2 early goals were answered by Hassel.
Gives it over to Hassel for a goal.
A third goal to Williams, the Magpies now in the lead.
Williams stays at the back, rips it off Cowell. Paul Williams from 50. Look out!
The last quarter and the coach's body language told the story. Barmy shaking his head in disbelief. McCartney and James combined well, and the Magpies had romped home by 28 points. The final scores: Melbourne 9-10-64, Collingwood 13-14, 92. Gary Lyon kicked 3, while Tingay, Neitz, Brett Lovett and Dyson were among the best. Round 22 and a Friday night clash saw the Demons down North Melbourne in a performance that pleased Neil Baum, not so his opposite number Dennis Pagan. The Demons, now in danger of missing the finals, sensed the urgency. 3 goals in 3 minutes in a high-scoring first quarter.
Super play. It's a magnificent kick.
North stayed in touch early on, but Carey's only goal was obviously a lucky one, passing on the wrong side of the post.
He's kicked the goal. I tell you what, Robbo, if that was a goal, I'll go he. That was a point.
However, the desperate Demons were gaining the ascendancy, despite the combination of Allison and Ramiro. The Demons, with their tails up, were fending off the Kangaroos, with 3 goals to each second term, having the D's up by 10 points at the half.
Gives it a good run. It's right there. Hands go up, line, goal to Schwartz. He's got it. Schwartz.
See, that's pretty ordinary defence by North Melbourne.
The third term and Wayne Carey in full flight missed a sitter, his reaction showing it all. The Demons rammed home their advantage with Andy Lovell kicking his 4th just before three-quarter time, and the difference 2 goals.
Lovell will get a goal.
When Andy got his 5th, the D's were up by 25 points. What about the magnificent effort by Sean White at the other end, as Melbourne home by 20 points?
Chance for Nichols for a 4th. Well played by White. Well, give him a vote now, Jared.
After shutting out the North big guns Carey and Longmire, the final scores: Melbourne 15-13 103 to North 12-11 83. Among our best, Stephen Tingay, Andy Lovell, Sean White, Glenn Lovett, Andrew Obst and David Neitz. The second last of the home and away matches required a trip to one of the most tricky grounds in the competition, the Bulldogs' kennel at the Western Oval. The first quarter, and the Demons, despite kicking against the wind, open up a 10-point lead. The first goal from Irving, while Schwartz was superb in the air. Bumps were freely handed out. Gary Lyon kicked 2.
And he's made amends and he's slammed it through for another goal.
Local knowledge helped Scott West bend this one at the Barclay Street end.
It's coming back. It's a goal.
Chris Grant missed 3 easy opportunities, but found his accuracy 3 minutes into the second half to level the scores. Grant continued his good form. Footscray kicking 5-4 to 1 point in the third term.
Races into goal. Brilliant play by the full forward.
Ferocious tackling. And Luke Beveridge unbeatable against his old team, the Bulldogs kicking 11 of the last 13 goals. A disappointing performance by the D's, giving no hint of a result reversal in the finals. The final scores: Footscray 16-15 111 to Melbourne 11-5 71. And many Demon supporters were unhappy with the umpiring, claiming a number of soft frees. Round 24, it was now down to the wire. The D's needing to win to make the finals. They had to beat the side which had scored a number of upset victories in the past, the Swans and in Sydney. A couple of hundred supporters had gathered at the Junction Oval to gee on the D's from a distance. A Demon blitz of 4 goals in 9 minutes laid out their intentions for the match.
Opportunity for Obst now, about 35 metres out from goal. That's a great effort.
The Swans didn't turn it up despite their cellar-dweller ladder position. They hit the front with 5 quick 6-pointers. The Demons up by 10 points at the first break. Darren Creswell kicked 4 goals to keep the Swans in touch.
Creswell from 50 goes to his 4th. It's bending back. Has it got the carry? I think it has. Here come the Swans.
But Martin Pike had 5 up to half-time, the Demons up by 14 points. The brilliant Charles then cut loose, notching up 4, while Schwartz had 7 at this stage.
This is going pretty close as well. Oh, not again. What a great kick. 3 in the turn.
2 more to number 5 in the final turn. Sean White taking time out, while the Demons cemented a final spot with a 46-point win to the delight of our supporters and coach.
Every heart beats true for the red and the blue.
We tried to be super positive about it and said, you know, this is the game that stands between us playing in the finals and not.
And so, after a topsy-turvy season, we'd made the final 8. The final score, Sydney 18-13-121, Melbourne with incredible accuracy 27-5-167. But it wasn't without cost. The injured included Glenn Lovett, Cowell, Lovell, while White had a virus. Our next assignment and our first finals clash was with Carlton in the third qualifying final. The Blues had finished in second place on the ladder with 15 wins, while our 12 for the season saw us finish in 7th spot. The clash with the Blues saw star rover Craig Bradley sidelined, but Fraser Brown was back and an early goal boosted the Blues, as did a Gleeson free in goal.
Oh, they go in hard. Gleeson caught one high.
Charles and Glenn Lovett squared the ledger, and Schwartz's blind turn resulted in a 6-pointer.
For that one. Here's Schwartz. Great play, David Schwartz. Races at the goal. It's another one to the Demons. Great play.
The D's were up by 9 points at the first change. Neither side was giving ground, with Blues skipper Kernahan on target, with 3 goals in 10 minutes.
Kick long, he'll look for Kernahan. He's one out. Steve Kernahan. He's still got it. Oh, the captain kicks a goal. Great play by the big full forward.
The Demons' much-vaunted forward line kept them in it. A 2-point lead to Carlton at half-time.
Oh, it's a mark. A brilliant mark is taken by James Cook.
After the break, the D's were flying high and gathering equally well. Christou snapped a miracle goal, but the Demons were up by 21 points with 1 quarter to go.
Around the corner on the left foot, a brilliant snap, Christou. A great goal.
A solid bump by Madden sat Viney down, but the D's forwards were unstoppable.
Uncontested is Pike. First goal of the last quarter and a very big break to the Demons.
We lacked a bit of direction through half forward, I thought, and we did pretty well to recover it. I reckon that sort of speaks volumes for the players, really.
The way we played, I think, probably it's a good indicator that we're hitting top form.
A 9-5 second half and home by 27 points against the Blues, 14-12-96 to 18-15-123. Our leading goal kicker Sean Charles with 5, Schwarter and Martin Pike chimed in with 4 each. Our best players also included Andy Lovell, Glenn Lovett who kicked 3, Matt Phoebe and Andrew Obst. And even the cynics were asking, could the Demons go all the way? One man crucial to our premiership aspirations was Martin Pike, who now works at Melbourne's Channel 9 television station. Pikey was well aware of the importance of the upcoming clash with Footscray in the first semi.
We know that we have to keep winning, and once we drop one, we're out. So if we can keep winning after the grand final, I suppose we'll celebrate the most.
Pike had played mainly in defence before breaking his leg in 1993, but now had made the transition to the forward line, helping fill the gap left by the injured Alan Jakovic.
A lot of the times that I have kicked the goals, they've played well as well. So having like a good setup in the forward lines has helped to free me up and to free everyone else up.
We went into the first semi-final with Footscray mindful of what had happened only a few weeks before, but also aware that finals are different. For example, the thrashing of Carlton. And it was to be a similar story against the Bulldogs, beaten by Geelong by 5 points in a thriller only the week before. A large crowd arrived at the MCG to see the clash with Doug Hawkins on the sidelines. Early in the match, the Dogs kept with the Demons, Gary Lyon kicking the first 6-pointer of the day.
Ball spills for Gary Lyon, spins out of trouble.
4 Melbourne goals in the last third of the quarter.
Ball spills free. Lovell in towards goal. There's another one. Lovett goes in the middle. Dyson will chip it away at goal. In towards full forward it goes. They're running hot at the moment.
Lyon was on fire, kicking his 4th and 5th goals in the opening minutes of the second term. The Demons were well in control. The Bulldogs fought back, kicking 5 of the next 6.
Here's an opportunity for Costa. Around his body he goes. They've broken the drought.
Decked in a heavy clash, Footscray's Chris Grant was stretchered off, but the Bulldogs kept on trying.
Spin for Footscray. He's hook kick to the front of the square. Oh, West, a pie. Goal kick by Johnson. Bullies alive.
Schwarter pulled out all stops, and the Demons were up by 3 goals at half-time.
He floats a punt kick up towards Schwartz and Southern. One-hander again.
After the break, the Demons were on fire. Gary Lyon unstoppable.
Oh, what a kick. What a magnificent kick by Lyon. It's his 7th goal.
3 goals in 3 minutes to bring up double figures for the skipper, the rest of the players following the example.
Look at that for a kick. Oh, what a goal by Brett Lovett. They can do no wrong.
The Demons 10 for the quarter and a lead of 68 points, much to the concern of Doug Hawkins and Peter Gordon. As the D's went further ahead, Gary Lyon came off as a precaution with a hamstring twinge, while Schwarter was concussed with only minutes to go. But a convincing win was the result.
We let them back in the second quarter, which was a bit unusual, but we got our feet back again and we played a bit tighter and started playing from them rather than just going out and getting the ball ourselves.
As for Gary's 10 goals...
It's a bit of a dream, yeah. I think the result is probably more of a satisfying thing than the 10 goals, you know. It's a terrific effort against Footscray, who had beaten us twice through the year, and to get away with a very good win as we have and to stay alive is very satisfying.
The final scores: Footscray 9-11-65, Melbourne 21-18 144. White, Neitz, Steins, Glenlovett and Tingay were also among the best. Next up, the formidable task, the West Coast in Perth at the Wacker. On the Monday night, some light massage, weights and medical treatment for both Schwarter and Gary Lyon, who spoke of number 5's condition.
If Schwarter got it injured anywhere else, we'd be worried, but his head seems to be a pretty safe spot to get an injury, so he'll be fine, and I'm fine as well, so I think we'll have a pretty full list to pick from.
But while the Demons were aiming at adding some metalwork to the club's collection, someone stole a piece, the plaque outside the office, and Hassaman wasn't amused.
Let's hope someone has a guilty conscience and brings it back.
The team left Tullamarine on the Thursday, leaving nothing to chance, even taking their own water. Channel 9's Tony Jones accompanied the team to Perth.
This is Melbourne's first trip to Perth since the 92 season, and while the journey over was a fairly relaxed one, the Demons have flown into a storm. When Mick Malthouse declares a training session closed, he means just that. Every gap at Subiaco is covered over, and West Coast staff police it to perfection.
Yeah, but we've been told nobody.
But someone slipped, and Melbourne's chairman of selectors Greg Wells and football manager Richard Griffiths casually sat in the stands watching the Eagles train. Their cover was blown, however, and the Spires were ushered from the ground. Wells was claiming innocence.
Did you know that it was a closed session, Greg?
No, I didn't, actually.
If it was a ploy to rattle Malthouse, it worked, and after venting his anger on the Victorian media...
It's pretty amazing how everything runs clockwork for 2 months until you get the shit from Melbourne.
Malthouse then let it be known he was unimpressed by the Demons' visit.
I mean, if they want to play games and childish games, we live with it.
It was the Eagles themselves playing those games later in the day when Melbourne had a light run at the Wacker.
Well, if they're uncomfortable with people watching them train, well, I guess that's their problem rather than ours.
After all the fun and games, the match on the Saturday, and despite a favourable breeze in the first quarter, the Eagles were unable to exploit it. A lucky bounce, a heady boot, and the home side had its first.
In front of the square, heading off the ground.
The Demons through Glenn Lovett replied, but it was their sole major for the turn.
Here's an opportunity for Lovett to answer. Goes with a chip towards goal, looks pretty good.
The Eagles, meanwhile, went 4 goals up.
Ball caught again, gets it across to Evans. High kick by Evans, this is going to be close. He's kicked it.
When Lewis and Heady kicked accurately in the second, the margin was 5 goals.
Straight through the middle. They're dominating this game at the moment, the West Coast Eagles. Heady a step.
The Demons suddenly slipped into gear, with Gary Lyon scoring the first of 3 quick Melbourne 6-pointers.
Hopgood over the top. Gary Lyon will get his first goal. And he's popped it through for a Melbourne goal.
Now trailing by only 6 points at the main break.
High floating kick. Here they come. No one able to take the mark. Top line, he waits down. Off the short Charles. Another one to the Demons.
After the break, it was all the West Coast. Heady notching up 3 goals in 9 minutes.
Lewis gets tackled but gets it away to Banfield. Which way will this one bounce? Heady again!
The Eagles were in devastating touch with Wilson, Hines and Sumich also kicking truly. Djakovic's solo run just failing to score the maximum points 11 minutes into the quarter.
Couple of bounces, he screams down the ground and stamps his authority on this football match. Has he gone too far? He'll nearly kick a goal. Glenn Djakovic, ladies and gentlemen, has it cleared the players? No, it's hit the post. What a magnificent fashion to play. And Nicky McQuan, that goal of the year nearly escaped you.
At the final change, the Eagles were 54 points up and looking at a grand final spot.
And Sumich hooks the kick and it bounces through for another goal to the West Coast.
Mainwaring and Kemp kept propelling the ball forward, while the Eagles' defence kept the Demons' forwards in check in a ruthless display. The Eagles were to go on to the climax of the season. For the D's, it was a gallant end of the road. The final scores: West Coast 16-21, 117, Melbourne 8-4, 52. White, Brett Lovett, Neitz, Charles, Norrish and Dyson were among the Demons' best. Coach Neil Baum had no excuses when he spoke to Channel 9 the morning after.
I thought on ball we were pretty soft, but I mean that's not to point the finger at any particular players. But I think the game's a game. I mean, a game is not your whole season. That game we lost because we didn't deal with the wind, because they were a bit too strong for us. It's really a lot to do with initiative. Once they got it, they were never going to give it up. So I don't think it indicates wholesale changes are required.
And while that was it as far as the team's aspirations went for a grand final win, the fine season enjoyed by many of our players was recognised in the league's top individual award, the Charles Brownlow Medal. David Schwartz polled best with 15, Stephen Tingay 11, Gary Lyon 10, Jim Stein 7, Brett Lovett 6, Glenn Lovett also 6, Sean Charles and Sean White 3, Matt Phoebe, Andy Lovell, David Neitz, Todd Viney and Kevin Dyson, all 2 votes, with Alan Jakovich, Graham Yates and Jeff Hilton each gaining 1 vote. We hope you've enjoyed the Demon Attack, a look at the Melbourne Football Club's performances in 1994. Go D's in 1995.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag, it's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. True